Good morning. This is Holly with Holly's Joys, and I have been chewing on something that I thought I'd share with you today, and it's compliance, conformity, and dominion. Because, well, we'll get into the because here in just a minute, but most of us don't even realize when we spend years, I spent years complying and conforming, and we call it just being good. I'm going to be using my phone for my notes, so forgive me for the shine in my glasses. I also have done that in the guise of being supportive of someone else or keeping the peace, choose your battles. But those things don't create freedom. Doing that did not make me feel good. But I have discovered that using my dominion, practicing my dominion, staying in that idea of dominion does make me feel good. And I want to share that with you. So let's just do a quick definition of each one. We've got compliance first, and it is doing what someone asks or expects. And sometimes we do it because it's wise. And sometimes we do it because we're afraid not to. So I'm not suggesting that if somebody asks you to do something that you put your foot down and you never ever do it. That's not what we're talking about. We're actually talking about filtering it through what's good for you. And then conformity is blending in with a group, lowering your voice, matching the energy in the room, and trying not to make waves. Guilty. And now a quick definition of dominion. It is the opposite. Dominion is inner authority, choosing your thoughts, your boundaries, your actions, and your energy on purpose. So you decide it. You say, I'm going to look at this situation. I'm going to think about it, what's best for me personally. And of course, we always filter that through the law of one, which is first do no harm. I'm not suggesting that if you're a psychopath or a sociopath, you just have a free pass. That's not what I'm saying either. Okay. So the key insight is compliance and conformity come from the outside. These are outside forces that are, I don't know, drawing your attention for whatever reason and trying to dictate your behavior in some way. And it's usually subtle stuff. I mean, we're talking about this because it's around the holidays. And I think when we get together as groups, and we're not normally in those full groups of people any other time, so you've got this different kind of dynamic, and now we're just trying to navigate it in a way that's uplifting for everybody involved as much as possible. So, compliance and conformity are outside kind of pressures, your mom still thinks of you as, I don't know, 10, 16, whatever, and you're a grown person with your own family. You're allowed to walk in that dominion. Absolutely. You should walk in that dominion. That is your right to do. So, dominion comes from the inside. This is a gift. This is God sewed it in the fabric of each human being, the dominion. He gave it to us at creation. And we use it, we give it away a lot, not even aware of it most of the time. So, this just becoming aware of it's been huge for me. Compliance and conformity, outside in, and dominion inside out. So when people get confused, they think dominion is like rebellious. I've had that a lot when I was I was an older teenager, starting to think about cars and stuff, and I was dreaming about a red Corvette. Oh, I just wanted a red Corvette. I just love those. And it offended my mother. She thought because I was dreaming about a red Corvette was somehow offensive to her. I wasn't really sure. So I changed my behavior. Instead of looking at it logically and saying that's more about her than it is me, continue to dream about a red Corvette. Get you a red Corvette, girl. I did not do that, and I never got myself a red Corvette. And I think it was out of some kind of weird responsibility to make, I don't know. Don't do that. Love yourself enough that if you want a red Corvette, you get yourself a red Corvette, right? So here's some examples. Choosing to follow guidance because it brings peace is dominion. Staying quiet so someone else feels comfortable is not dominion. Like you have a strong opinion about something and you feel like it's very right and it's relevant to you, your personal peace, please say it, right? Showing up because it aligns with your values is dominion. Showing up out of guilt is not dominion. Like, I really don't want to go to Thanksgiving with the family this year, but you show up anyway. That's not dominion. And it's okay if you don't want to show up. You're grown. So, the transformation moment. In dominion, you stop asking, what do they want from me? What what does the family, what does the boss, what, I mean, you have to do your job. I'm not saying, I'm talking personal stuff. What do they want from me? What do I choose from my center is freedom. What do they want from me is compliance. And it's not going to bring you peace. So, for years I did spend this kind of energy in trying to find out what would make this group comfortable, what would uplift everybody in the group. I was never considering myself. I was shrinking myself. I didn't even understand what was going on. So I would lose my peace. Absolutely, I would lose my peace. And then I discovered this idea of dominion, and I've been really using it every single day and thinking about it and purposefully allowing myself to do the things that I would have never allowed myself to do before. And that is really huge. And I can't say for you what that looks like. That is your personal journey. But you know what I mean. You know what this looks like for you, and that it is hard when you have people pressuring you, and but that's about them and what's going on inside their own internal world, and you're not responsible for that. So compliance and conformity shape who you are to others. Dominion shapes who you are to yourself. So I've gotten myself trapped in groups because I'm so good at the complying. I was raised that way. Comply and conform, and I can read your mind practically, what you want before you even know you want it, and I'm serving it up on a platter, and then I'm mad about it. Dude, stop it. Don't do it anymore. And you know what? When you train people to do that, that you're good at that, then they start to expect that. It's kind of a feedback loop on itself, right? So, but dominion, if you walk in this idea of dominion and you start to put yourself in the forefront, then you will find your life much more peaceful and satisfying. And that shapes who you are for yourself. And I think personally, I'm discovering this is how you find your purpose in God. Why are we here? I think this idea of dominion begins to reveal that to you in a way that conformity and compliance never could. So, anyway, that's what I have for you today. And I appreciate y'all being here. Check me out on TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook under Holly's Joys. And I have different kinds of content, art, cats, bada bada, different stuff. So anyway, thumbs me up. It makes all the difference in the world, and I appreciate you all. And I hope you do have a happy holiday and that you exercise your dominion, go in your laboratory of life and just give it a try and start to see where you're conforming when you don't want to. And just start to ease yourself into the idea that you don't have to. And we'll see you next time. Go in the world and be light, my friends. Bye. Have a good one.